Still on the current situation in Nigeria concerning the legal tender status of old Naira notes, my colleague Perpetua Fasomi Peter is joining us from one of the major markets in Lagos to feel the pulse of the people on the streets as regards this. Perpetua, can you hear me? Hello, Perpetua.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, beautiful. So tell us, what are the traders saying concerning...
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead. What's the question? I can hear you.
Okay, so what are the traders actually saying concerning the old Naira notes? Are they accepting it? Do we have the old Naira notes and the new Naira notes in circulation as you have observed so far?
All right, thank you, Leko, for that particular question. I'm right here at the Oyinbo market, and I have met with the market men and women here, and you can see that they are not happy at all. They have the old notes with them. For some of them, they had the old notes before now. They had them in their homes, and for some other persons, they went to the bank yesterday and they were given the old notes. But unfortunately, getting to the market today, they didn't collect those notes from them. People who were coming in to buy things were not collecting the old notes from them. And for them, they are disappointed and they are wondering what will become of that particular money. Recall that on the 3rd of March 2023, that was when the Supreme Court gave a judgment saying that the federal government should halt the implementation of the deadline for the 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1,000 Naira notes. And owing to this, we would expect that by now people would start exchanging the old Naira notes. But unfortunately, that is not the case here. Well, I have some market women and market men around me here who are also willing to talk. If you do not mind, I'd like to bring one of them to speak with you.
Please. All right, so you can go ahead and engage the market sellers and let's feel their pulse. Let's know, even if they're able to sell their merchandise now that they're not willing to collect the old notes.
All right, please come. What's your name?
Charity Ronchi.
Okay.
I'm Charity Ronchi from Plateau States. I'm here to speak about my country, Nigeria, the problem that we are going through now in Nigeria. We have been selling for the past 2 weeks now. We don't understand the market that we are selling. We'll buy from the Malam and bring it down to Oyinbo. I sell Shoko and green and Ewedu. To my greatest surprise, when they say they transfer money to my account, I'll go to my account. I cannot be able to find the money because.
All right, let's talk about the old Naira notes now.
The old Naira note, they asked us to collect it last week Friday. I started collecting my own on Saturday. I took this money home in Ojo Barak. I could not spend it. When I came back to the market on Monday, most of them brought the money to me. I told them I can't collect it because the one I collected, I have not been able to spend it. So what is happening to our country? We want to know. The president announced that we shouldn't collect this 1,000 Naira note and 500 Naira notes. But they asked us to collect it. So I don't know what is happening to Nigeria. Can the president tell us to come out and speak his mind and tell us maybe we should start collecting it before other people will know that yes, Nigeria is still using the old notes. But as for now, we cannot collect it because we have not heard the president speak because he has not dropped down yet. So we want the Nigeria to do something pertaining this issue because our vegetable is spoiling. You can imagine since morning, this is what I've collected as a note in my hand. The rest money is transfer, and most of the transfer I've not seen it in my account. So what do you want us to do, please, Nigeria?
All right, but you know that the Supreme Court has actually ruled saying that this money will continue to be legal tender until December 31st. So I'm wondering why you're saying that you're not collecting this money.
I'm not going to collect it because I took it to other place today. I sent my Malan to go and help me to buy Oha and Hosuza. The people refuse to collect it. So also me, I will not collect it because you can imagine the new notes they are talking about is only 1 year as 500. 200 as one, but the whole note 200 and 100 Naira is not even up to 1,000. So why do you expect me to collect the whole note when I cannot spend it?
All right, thank you. All right, well, you already heard Charity. She has talked about her own experience, and we have other people here who are also willing to share their experiences with us. Lekon, tell me, do you have any question for my next guest before I give the microphone to her?
Well, all right. I would like to find out from them if the reason they've not been able to, or they are not willing to collect these notes, is because there's not much enough education as regards what the Central Bank of Nigeria is trying to do in terms of ensuring the cashless policy comes to play, and of course what the Supreme Court in terms of the verdict has handed down. Is it that people are not really conversant with what the federal government stance, the CBN stance, and of course the Supreme Court stance has been? That is why they are a bit skeptical and reserved in terms of ensuring that these particular old notes are collected and of course go in circulation.
All right, from what Charity said earlier, we can tell that she's aware of the Supreme Court ruling. However, people are waiting to hear the president speak, because if you recall, you would know that it was after the Supreme Court gave a stay of order. It was the next day that the president told us that we should only collect the 200 naira notes, while the 500 naira and the 1,000 naira notes had become illegal. So I guess that is why we have this hesitation with people wanting to hear either the CBN governor, the president, or even the Attorney General of the Federation. They want to hear these people speak first before they make any action, or before they can start either collecting or spending the old naira notes. I guess that is what the situation is. But of course, I'd like to speak to one of these persons here. Please, let's have your thoughts, please.
Good afternoon.
All right.
Okay.
I'll hold the microphone.
Okay, well, I'm Adan Namane.
Okay, so Ada, talk to us. Have you been able to spend the old naira notes? Have you been collecting them?
No, even in bank, we don't collect it. As I'm speaking to you now, I don't even have 100 naira with me, and I'm a banker. I have to even trek. It's just that I saw the guy that carried me freely. No money, both new one, old one. We don't collect in the bank, and people will think bankers will have it. Me too, I don't have it. Search me or my bag. I don't have 1 naira. I trekked to work, and you must come to work. None of their business. CBN gave law. Cut. Who are we following? No money outside. No old one in the bank. No new one. Since 1 week now, they've not bring any money to us. So I don't know.
I like that you work in the bank, and now we also saw that some banks started paying the old notes yesterday. And the question has been, is it that they have a directive from the Central Bank of Nigeria to start giving out these old notes? What is the situation in your own bank where you work?
Right, for this now, I won't say yes or no, because me particularly, we don't collect, and I don't know about it. So I don't know if there is any order that said we should, because we are not collecting, and I don't even have anyone, not even old or new. So I won't know if they give directive for them to collect or not, because as for me, we are not collecting it. So
thank you so much. All right, so Oleka, I have just one more person who wants to share her own experience with us.
Good morning, my name is Tayo. I want to say, please let us to follow our president's talk to send people that, because when they want close this morning, then share the handbill to give all the market so that we see new note, but let them to help us to share the handbill again. And when the first station they collect this money, market people will collect the money and transport to collect the money. When they started to collect, others people that have collected, because this thing spoil many money for our hand. If them buy with transfer money, to collect the money is hardly. We cannot collect the money in the castly because it's not money in
Okay, so why are you not collecting the old notes?
Me, if I see, I don't even see them. If I see, I will collect it, because I know they will collect it from when I'm buying jewelries. They will call some of people that have collected this when they not collected this money, because we are not even see the money. When the first station they collect this money and transport they collect this money, this thing go catch up. They collect it from this area. That's what is happen for this thing. Please help us beg Buhari to say that, or share the handbill as they shared it before when they started this money, because they share handbill for this market. If they share the handbill to collect it back, people to start to collect it back. That's why what I say. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, Lekon.
Well, Perpetua, this shows that there's a bit of confusion at Marketplace because they do not really know what step they need to take as regards whether they need to collect the old notes or not collected. And the last speaker pointed to the issue of education, some sort of orientation as the case may be, so that they have a clear-cut understanding of what they need to do, because their markets will suffer eventually if they do not collect these old notes, knowing fully well that the fintech, that is the financial technology solution banks platform, are not really working optimally as the case may be now.
Well, if you can hear me, Lekon, I guess the line is breaking.
Oh, okay. Perpetua, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that the last responder actually pointed to the issue of education, as it were, owing to the fact that there's not been a lot of sensitization for the people, and that's why there's a bit of confusion on the part of the market sellers and of course buyers at the markets in terms of what direction they should take. And that also boils down to the issue of fintech solutions not being optimal in their transactions, in financial transactions that is meant to be carried out by these bank sellers and of course by these market sellers and buyers. But then I just like to know what you think about that.
Oh, but I actually didn't get what you were saying correctly. But if you're talking about how that it feels like so many people here are aware of the Supreme Court ruling, but what they want to hear is either the president or the CBN governor. Well, I would say that to a very large extent you wouldn't blame them, because before now we know we've had 2 adjournments, and at the first adjournment the Central Bank of Nigeria issued a stay of execution saying that the money should continue, people should continue using the monies as legal tender. But we know that was not even followed through. And then by the second time that the Supreme Court also gave that stay of execution, we saw what happened, that it was the next day that the president gave a conflicting order talking about how that only 200 naira should remain legal tender until April. And then at that same time he also talked about how that the other denominations, which is the 500 naira and the 1000 naira notes, will cease to be legal tender. So it's not a surprise really that we have persons who are probably not willing to work with the Supreme Court ruling, because we've seen something happen in the past, and we've had a precedent, and you wouldn't expect people to ignore the precedents and move on as if nothing has ever happened. So I mean, it's understandable that people are waiting to hear either from the Attorney General of the Federation, that's Abubakar Malami, or the Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele, or the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari.
Thank you so much, Perpetua, for that in-depth analysis, talking about the cashless policy, the Naira swap, and all the dusts being raised as regards the policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. So the citizens have spoken. They want to hear a formal directive or a reaction from the federal government of Nigeria, the CBN, and the Attorney General on this particular issue, so that markets can free flow in terms of transactions, and buying and sellings can go on as we usually had them before these policies came on board. So that is where we get to draw the curtains on a Business Edge for today. Do not forget that you can follow us on our social media platforms, that is at News Central TV. You can head to our website, www.newscentral.africa, and equally download our mobile app on App Store and Play Store. We'll continue with this conversation some other time, bringing you other shades of it during the course of Business Edge. Don't forget, it comes up by 11 a.m. Mondays to Fridays. Do not forget that by 12 at the top of the hour, we will be bringing you the news. Do not go away. My name is Lekon Obanjo. Enjoy the rest of your day.